Hello, my friends. My name is John, also known in the lifting and gaming community as Gardark. I figured I'd come on here and just talk to you without a script. I don't have this written down or anything, so I'm just going to freestyle it. About Mr. Jamvad and the brotherhood that he introduced me to. Um, First, a quick background about me. Um, I spent my childhood and all my life as a musician. I have a God given talent to be a musician, and a really good one at that. Um, you know, I started when I was 4 years old, playing at parties with my dad and performing, and it was always something that I just loved. It was my great love of my life, music, and I would go through school, junior high and high school, just winning everything. I was a trumpet player in a very big state where I live, and in high school I ended up with two state championships, first place. So at that point, I knew that I had a real gift here, and I probably needed to go to college for it. So I did. I went to college at a very prestigious, music school. Got my bachelor's degree, and then went right back around and got a master's in it too. So I became very highly trained at this point. And I was doing music after college and after grad school and everything. And then catastrophe hit. Um, I could not control this. It was, no fault of my own either, but it knocked me out of the industry. It knocked me out of the career. I was unable to return to it, and I was not able to continue. So, I moved back home across the state with my parents. I was in my mid 20s at the time, and it was humiliating for me. So I started to come up with lies as to why I was moving back home. This was around the time, right before the time that COVID happened. So people believe me when I said this, but the I would tell people that I was going home because my parents were in poor health. They're older, so and I needed to go take care of them. And then COVID hit, and then I really couldn't get another job within that career at that point. So but the thing that knocked me out of the career was so heartbreaking that it sent me into a deadly spiral, actually, of just dark depression, deep dark depression. I started to question things like the concept of truth, whether it mattered or not. Right? Whether things were true or not mattering towards me being able to live a life that I wanted. Um, I started becoming at odds with myself, and I mean, all these things. And it became such a dark spiral that I ended up at a point where I wanted to take my own life. I was there. Now, obviously, I didn't. Yay, I'm here talking to you today. Um, but yeah, that was rock bottom. I was living at my parents' house, no income, no nothing, no purpose that I could see, at least at the time. And, shortly after that, I decided, I wanted to start working out. So I discovered fitness. At the time when I started this, I was weighing close to 300 pounds, which me and my build, I'm not supposed to weigh that. So I knew that was wrong for me. And I discovered this concept of improvement. So I decided to, you know, really go after it. And I play a lot of video games and have since I was a child. So I wanted to reach out to one of the best in the video games that I play. And his name is Mr. Jamvad. Enter Jam, as we call him. Um, and I read a book that a buddy had referred me to by Mr. Jamvad. It was really good. But the first portion of this book didn't talk about anything about gaming. It just talked about these psychological concepts, right? About growth and the willingness to learn. And that piqued my interest. So, I mean, me having so much school at my back, you know that I love to learn, or at least have a very deep desire to figure things out. So, I delved deeper, and I got welcomed by Mr. Jamvad and his community into a brotherhood that changed my life for the better. I learned how to grow basically from these folks, and they would always say trust the process, and I thought they were just talking about video games. You know what I mean? Like you try. I mean, we've all heard the expression before: trust the process of what you're being taught, and you'll get there. But they kept on saying it like it was about something deeper, and it was about something deeper. That's a conversation for another time. But I learned this, and looking back on it, there's years when I was improving in the video game, did a couple of private sessions one-on-one with Jam himself, which was amazing, by the way. And we delved deep, deep into my psyche, and we figured out a lot about who I am, and my problems, and my hang-ups, and how we're gonna get me feeling purpose again. So in a bird's eye view, looking back to it, it's kind of funny actually. I went looking to get good at a video game, and I discovered a wonderful and fruitful life instead. But yeah, from that point on, right, I discovered a lot of things about myself. I continued to work out, and I continued to improve. Fast forward to these last few recent years, I moved in to my own place, got a new job, and was living on my own terms again, so that was a good step. I met a woman after 4 years of being alone, single with no friends, in this dark place that I was, and learning to accept her into my life was a teacher as well. Fast forward, I've adopted powerlifting, right? I applied the same growth process that I learned towards any other area of life through this brotherhood that I mentioned, to powerlifting, and I end up qualifying for a national championship meet. And I go and show up and go 6 for 9, right? Which is a great, way to show up to a first time. So I was proud of myself there. It just shows that the growth process is universal. But that's another conversation for another time. I let this girl in my life. This past March, I got married, and life has been so much better. And I have Mr. Jambad to thank for that, and for his brotherhood, and for all the friends as well that, ushered me towards that direction of, growth and self-improvement. It really helped me to discover about myself why I allowed myself into such a dark space. And I came to the point, right, where I would admit to myself, oh, and by the way, I'm in a career now where I determine my own work schedule, how much money I make, and life is amazing. I've got this beautiful wife, and I'm an avid powerlifter, and I'm doing music again too. So that's a good measure of returning to who I thought I was in a completely new way. But yeah, I would come to the point where I would admit to myself, and I said this to my wife as well, my then fiance, when I said it, that if I would have known before all this dark stuff happened to me that I would end up where I am now, I would go through it all again. And that's the kind of peace that I hope for you in your life. But it requires work. I tell you what, though, it is the most worth it thing. It is the most worth it thing to be in a place where you have that sort of poetic acceptance about your life. And my growth is not over. Never will be. But due to the things that I've learned from Jam and from my brotherhood, I am leading a wonderful and fruitful life. I hope the same for you. Thanks for listening, guys.